stock that I want us to look at today is Investec. In the JSE, there are two listed Investec. There's Investec Limited, and then there's Investec PLC, which is listed in the London Security Exchange. Our recent position is on Investec PLC. Previously, we had a position on Investec Limited. So the information about Investec, you can find it on their website, but basically it's a bank. They cover certain class of clients. They do offer corporate and well, I will just say retail banking for the men on the street. As I said, you can find all that information on the Investec website, and then they've got different products that people can buy, or they offer different product to different clients. Just like any other bank, you go to a bank for banking purposes. They have some private banking, and also corporate banking in there. So that is Investec in a nutshell. There was a time where they said some of their clients, retail clients, they're looking for clients that have at least a gross income of 800,000 rand per annum. So that is a bit steep for some people. Other profession, that money is nothing, but for some other profession, that is a bit steep. But the purpose of this video is to talk about the company, not about the ease of becoming a member of Investec. So what I want us to look at is the recent interim result of Investec. So this interim result cover both Investec PLC and Investec Limited, and these are the 6 months that ended on the 30th of September 2022. So I'll just go through the summary of this result. What we see is that there's adjusted earnings per share. Whenever we look at companies that we want to buy, we want to see the earnings per share increasing. In this case, the EPS, they increased by 25.1%, which is good. It shows that the company is making money. We are happy to see the earnings increasing. Compared to other companies that we normally look at, we always find a bit of a challenge to look at the banking result, because there are some things that they explain that differs from other companies. For example, when you look at the balance sheet of Shoprite Group, you will find assets and liabilities. You look at the cash flow statement. It's simple, easy to follow cash flow statement or the income statement. They are always easy, but for the banks, we always find it a bit challenging. So if we do not cover it extensively, as we always do with the other stocks, please understand that the banking sector is not a child's play. So another thing that we're interested in is the revenue. So we see that the revenue of Investec, it grew by close to 19%. It's still good because it is above 15%. Ideally, we would like to see the revenue growing by over 20%, but 19% is just close enough to that 20% that we're always looking for. And then they speak about a tangible net asset value. Most companies, they just report a net asset value, not tangible net asset value. And then when you see here, we see that they say it's about 475 pence. So that is about £4.75 in there. The numbers are reported in pence. Remember, this company is listed in the London Security Exchange, so it uses a different currency compared to the South African rands. But what we see here is that the total net asset value, it remained flat for the period compared to the previous period. When you look at the net asset value, it was £5 compared to that previous 5.1 pounds there. However, they speak of the strong earnings that were generated. So for those people that are interested in dividends, whenever a company reports their result, they are most likely also going to declare dividend. So in this long document, they will find information about the dividend payment. It's just that that information is far at the bottom. So I'm just gonna quickly scroll through past all this other information that is not relevant for our analysis today, so that we can go to the dividend information. I know that it is far because I've already looked for it. I nearly thought that it was not there, but you can still download this document from the Investec website, and then you can go through all the other information that you might be interested in. So when you see here, they've already declared a dividend of about 13 pence. So let us look. Here's the value of the dividend. They've declared 13 pence. I've already made the job easier for you by looking at the current South African rand British pound exchange rate. So that 13.5 pence equates to about 2 rand 80 cent there. That's the gross dividend that you can expect to receive. But remember that there's 20% dividend withholding tax that you can expect to pay from all the dividends that you will be receiving. But the declared dividend, it's 13.5 pence there. And then also, now we need to know the date when that dividend is going to be paid, so that we know when our money is going to hit our brokerage account, assuming that we are investors, of course. So we see, since we keep buying these shares, I bought these shares in my Easy Equities account, so they're listed in the JSE. So the last date to trade in order to participate in the dividend is the 6th of December 2022. And the shares are going to start trading ex-dividend on the 7th of December. The record date is the 9th. Remember, the record date is the date whereby your name needs to be on the shareholder book in order to qualify for the dividend. You can sell your shares before the ex-dividend date. If your name is on the record book, you can still receive the shares, or you can sell your shares after the ex-dividend date. If your name is still on the record book by the record date, then you will be eligible to receive that dividend. And then the dividend is going to be paid on Monday, the 9th of January 2023. So now you can see the record date is about a month apart of where the dividend is going to hit your bank account. So that is something that, not your bank account, your brokerage account. So that is something that you need to keep in mind should you decide to buy these shares. So I think I've already said enough. The company is profitable, the revenue is growing, the net asset value is flat. We saw the earnings per share, they grow by close to 20%, and the company is going to be paying 13.5 pence dividend, which equates about a 2 rand 80 cent gross dividend before dividend withholding tax. So if you are not a technical person, you can decide to stop watching this video here. But if you want to learn more about technical analysis, I want to encourage you to continue watching so that you can see how we make these decisions based on technical analysis, not based on whether the company is going to pay a dividend or the company is not going to pay. The reason why we love Investec at this moment, we see that there was a time where it broke above this level, just somewhere around 70 rand per share. Then there was a pullback coming back to about 75 rand per share. The stock then traded reaching somewhere around 100 rand per share before pulling back again to somewhere to that previous resistance level, which now turned support somewhere between 70 rand and 75 rand per share. Since then, the stock has found a support around this level. We see that there was a serious accumulation that was happening in these weeks. The buyers managed to push the price all the way back up to that previous 100 rand resistance level there that we saw. So when we saw that the share price was approaching that 100 rand per share region again, then we set a buy stop order expecting the share price to break above this level. So we wanted to be in position should the share price break above this level. It was not a prediction. We were just waiting to see if that move was going to play out, and if that move did play out, we wanted to get an opportunity to buy those shares as the share price broke above this level. So we saw that this week the share price did break above this level, even though that volume is not the most compared to previous week's volume. Ideally, we would have wanted to buy when the volume was high here, but as you can see that previous week the share price at that time hadn't broken above this level. When the share price broke above this level, there was still more buyers than sellers in the market, so that was encouraging, and for that reason we already have a position on Investec. Remember, we said that if a share price is approaching previous support and resistance level, the share price can trade in a range. Eventually it will break above the resistance level. Sometimes it will just break above the resistance level and continue to trade up without a pullback. but sometimes the share price can break above the resistance level, come back and retest the previous breakout level before continuing with the upward move, which is the same thing that we saw here, which was the retest of the breakout level. We have a video where we're talking about a break and retest strategy. If you haven't seen that video, make sure that you watch it. We will link it in the discussion below, in the description, so that you can go to that video to see what we're talking about with regards to this trading strategy. It has over 50% success rate. Remember, we are traders. Every time we are buying something, we always have a stop loss, because the share price can always come back to that breakout level, and then it can continue to trade inside that range. So at all times, we want to limit the amount of capital that we can lose should the share price come back to that previous trading range. There is no need for us to stay invested in a company for as long as it is consolidating between the support and resistance level. So for that reason, for this breakout reason, that is why we bought Investec. It's not just about the dividend that they will be paying. Okay, moving forward to other banks, but just let us look at Investec Limited, which is a INL share code. So the share price or the price action is almost similar. As you can see, the Investec PLC first broke above this level, but the limited is just about to break above this level. We already have a position in the PLC. There's no need for us to have a position on limited again, because it is essentially the same company. But like I said previously, we had a position on Investec Limited when it broke above this level here. As you can see, there was a breakout and then a retest of this breakout before the stock continued to trade higher. When the stock started to consolidate sideways, that is why we exited our position in there. We don't always keep our position if the share price starts to pull back. There's no point, because there are other stocks in the stock market that are moving sideways, and we want our capital to be in those companies that are moving up. Okay, so we've already said a lot about Investecs, the different kinds of Investecs.